Hi, here's the process for prorating homeowner association fees on closing disclosure documents. Prorated expenses on closing documents. A closing disclosure presents the buyer and seller with a financial summary of the deal. Items are credited and debited to each party according to who is liable for the charge or who is benefiting. Homeowner association fee proration. Homeowner association fees are paid in advance. Association fees are collected for varying time periods. Could be a year in advance, a quarter in advance, or a month in advance. The buyer will owe the seller for the money paid in advance from the seller from the day of closing through the end of the period collected. The collection period used will be stated in an exam story problem. Homeowner association fee formula. To work with the homeowner association fees on a closing document, you have to calculate how many buyer days that the buyer is going to owe the seller for the homeowner association fees that have been prepaid. So buyer days are how many days of the advance collection period that the buyer will owe the seller, and this will be from the day of closing to the end of the period. You then calculate the daily fee by taking the total fee and dividing it by the number of days in the collection period. You can multiply the daily fee by the buyer days to get the amount to enter as a credit to the seller and a debit to the buyer. Story problem. A closing is scheduled for November 4th. The property has a homeowners association fee of $125 charged yearly. Using actual days, how will the association fee be prorated and entered on the closing statement? Story problem solution. To solve this problem, we want to calculate our buyer days, which in this case will be from the day of closing, which is November 4th, through December 31st, because we are working with an annual period, so it's going to go through the end of the year. When you do the count between November 4th through December 31st, you'll find that there are 58 days. "27 days in November plus 31 days in December to equal 58 buyer days. The amount of the association fee is $125 for the year, so you divide that by 365. That gives you the answer of 0.34246575 per day as the daily rate for the association fee. So you just leave that in your calculator and you immediately multiply it by the number of buyer days, which is 58. That gives you the answer of 1986. Remember, when you get to this step in a problem, you may need to round up to get to an actual penny. The 1986 is going to be entered on the closing disclosure as a credit to the seller and as a debit to the buyer.